You're listening to The Chartographers.
Hello, everybody! You're listening to The Chartographers, music-loving podcast, music-loving people, ranking albums worst to first or something like that. It's great. Guys, we finished recording our Season 4 main cast, and we ranked all of the albums of iamamiwhoami, ionnalee. I can't believe we did it. It was me, Evan Sadi. It was co-creator Taran O'Reilly, and of course, it was special, wonderful guest Jill Meyer in studio. Thank you so much for doing it. Thank you for speaking like Yoda. Hello. Very kind. Very sweet. And we're just going to talk about whatever we want to talk about here, because non-album ranking type stuff. But the thing is, this is the Chartographer, so we need to do the thing that we do at the start of every Happy Hour Minisode, which is, guys, what is the worst ionnalee song? Yoda, if you're listening, I'm sorry. We do it at the start of every episode.
Skip forward 5 minutes.
Skip forward 5 minutes, Yoda.
So, okay, two things. First thing, I can tell I'm out of practice for this podcast because I totally forgot to think about this at all. Second thing, I think that we should challenge ourselves and say not from the first two albums.
Fair. I think that's fair.
Because that's like, good. I don't know, that seems like a cop-out choice. Mm-hmm. So like, from peak era ionnalee, what's the worst song?
I'm gonna have to really think about this. Oh, It Matters with the All of Jesus off of Remember the Future.
So, you mentioned that in the main cast. I don't love that song, but I do think it's like a nice, for me, that's like a really good song to like put on in the background while you're doing something. It has a nice pulse to it. It's very, like, it's dreamy, but not, like, too, like, woo-woo. You know what I mean?
Right.
None of that witchy woo-woo, yeah.
None of that witchy woo-woo stuff.
Witchy woo-woo.
She's not literally a bog witch in that one.
But I kind of like that one because of the sound. Like, that's what I got a soundscape type feeling from.
It's just, you bring in Zola Jesus and she basically have her match your tone with you. It just is like, it's just wasted opportunity sitting for me. It's just,
but they do literally sound very, their singing style is similar. So like, it's not, that's not their fault.
And y'all can have your own worst songs. I'm just telling you the one that doesn't speak to me. But Terry, what would you pick?
Okay, I think it is...
Watches.
No, that one's fine. I mean, like, an obvious choice would be, like, Dunes of Sand for me.
So Jill just can't believe that there's a universe exists where people don't love Dunes of Sand.
Shaking my head.
Yeah.
Or, like, I hate to say it, but, like, Mysteries of Love. Like, it just doesn't do a ton, you know? There's not... It's, like, it's nice, but it's... And that's the thing, like, the quote-unquote worst peak era ionnalee song is, like, it's nice.
Yeah.
Right. It's just not, like, brilliant, you know?
How about you, Jill Meyer?
I think I've already kind of said mine, and you're
remind me.
So
I can't remember.
It's Tapper Glass.
My head.
Tapper Glass.
I got it.
Oh, Tapper
Glass.
It's fine.
Yep.
I just wanted to hear you say it, so you can hear yourself saying it.
I feel so wrong to say.
Yeah. Long story short,
it's fine.
this is we're splitting hairs here. But when it comes to discography, as wonderful as Yona's, it's really hard to. It is splitting hairs. It's just so much fun. Oh my god, we have so many things to talk about.
Yeah.
First off, Ghost the dog, incredible. Yona posts more pictures of the Ghost the dog.
Yes.
Sweet little angel that you are of fur. And also, we've seen her live 2 different times, and I want to talk about those experiences very explicitly. The first time we saw her live was right after the Kickstarter happened, and Chicago wasn't even on the initial dates that was done. And it was
added
it was a stretch goal.
Yeah, it was a stretch goal because she funded her Kickstarter in 5 days for her world tour.
Insane.
The thing that this week made me realize how many fans she has. Because one of the things, like, it's kind of a cult thing. Like, she's putting out music, she seems to be doing fine. You don't realize how global her reach is.
Well, and also, I feel like she has probably a couple 100,000, like, very devoted fans. Like, you're either... She's polarizing in that way. You're either, like, A, you've never heard of her, or you don't like what's happening, which is, I feel like, honestly, once you find her, that's a pretty small contingent.
Right. Do you write for Pitchfork? Because that's the contingent.
Right. Or, like, the people who listen to her music, for the most part, are, like, huge fans of hers. I mean, like, that's the thing. You mentioned that she was one of your favorites, and we freaked out because it's so hard to find other people who love her.
Which is wild because clearly there are so many people that love her.
Yeah, I mean, so speaking of, you mentioned briefly as we were doing the outro, and I just immediately want to bring up, we should have watched it with you during the break, but we'll afterwards, we'll show you. I think we determined it was maybe in Puerto Rico, but there's this video of the fan-made video for work of this girl in like a blue jumpsuit just walking around the streets of a city, absolutely like voguing and killing it.
Oh
like it's so good.
To work. Yeah.
And it also highlighted an aspect of that song that I hadn't really picked up on, which was that it's like, oh, this is like a really great club beat. Like this is it's still like, again, like dark and sinister, but it feels like that like deep house, you know?
Yeah, let's go to Berlin and find a good
absolutely. It feels like a seedy dance club in Berlin, and I love that.
I know.
We were also watching a react video to fans watching Joy for the first time too.
Oh my gosh.
And like she has fans around her, and it's like a lot of teens that are like finding her, and they're just like, some of them are just like snapping along with it and just like so excited, and it was just so sweet.
So good. I love that. And let's watch that.
Yeah, and the thing, I'm just like, God, she has fucking a lot of fans all over the world, and I love that. And that's part of the reason why the tour is so significant too, because I remember the stretch goals were like, we'll add another city, we'll add this other city. I think it was like Vancouver or something.
And I know there was an extra day added in Brazil where like...
Yes. Yeah, especially.
And then, like, get to this level, we'll add another dancer to the tour. At this level, there'll be a new audiovisual from Ionna. And they didn't hit that level, but didn't matter because we got a new audiovisual, basically.
Right.
But seeing her live was great because the first time we saw her, it was Trist, I think, the artist was opening for her. It was at the Bottom Lounge in Chicago, which is a smaller venue. And we just felt under/overdressed.
I for sure felt underdressed. I just wore like normal clothes, and then I was like, I should have worn my like sparkly leggings. I should have put on eyeliner. Like the fans came out, and it was just like such a beautiful, very gay, like smorgasbord of like just insane, confident humans. Like, you know, I saw
glitter everywhere.
Glitter in
giant
ears,
eyelashes. It was just
and you
fabulous.
know, just this like, you know, 6'3" man with like beautiful curly like red hair down to his waist, and just like everything. And I was like, I mean, I knew, again, it was one of those things where, like, in retrospect, of course this is what her crowd looks like.
Right.
But
yeah, I didn't expect it for whatever reason. I don't know what I expected, but yeah.
Because I've seen shows at the Bottom Lounge, and it's usually just, like...
a bunch of guys standing
around.
A bunch of guys
standing and whatever.
Exactly.
And
And she just really, like, she really brings out the, like,
the creativity
weird,
and the weird,
completely. And, like, you know, never had I seen so many mullets on gay men in Chicago, you know? Like, that's just...
Not even at Pride.
And the thing was that there were so many people that I talked to who had come from so far away, actually, from many different states, who had driven in just for her show and had made a whole big deal out of it. And
that's awesome.
The space, to me, felt like, what I took from it was such a space of, like, support and love, and everybody was there. There was none of that like, oh, I'm gonna elbow you out of the way kind of stuff.
Completely.
You know?
And I feel like that is, I mean, in general, I feel like a lot of, you hear artists talk about how like Chicago and Milwaukee have like such like great responsive crowds. And I feel like that's part of why it was so great for Chicago, because it was a stretch goal. It was added on to the beginning.
Yes.
So it was actually the first show of the tour.
I think it was the second. She had like one more before.
Yeah, yes,
like
you're right,
I think she went to Canada first and then came to Chicago. And so I remember, like, you know, at the end of the second song, everyone was screaming so much that she, like, you know, dropped down and, like, crouched for a second and just, like, held her face. Because it seemed like
so
she couldn't...
overwhelming.
Yeah, it was so overwhelming.
Clearly,
she couldn't believe that, like, this many people were this excited to see her.
Yeah. Oh, God, I've been waiting for a year.
I mean, right. She literally had never toured her material.
Right, yeah.
Until that point.
I thought, I was almost like, well, I guess maybe it'll never happen. I don't know. Maybe we'll catch her somewhere when I'm in Sweden and she's playing. Like, I don't know. this was it was a dream to see her. I've never been so excited for, I enjoy concerts, sure,
Yeah.
but I was just so into it completely and totally, and just lose yourself in it, which was everyone else was doing too.
Right, and it was just like by the time Goods hits at the end and it goes into its dance remix version, it's just like, holy shit,
Yeah.
I know. The only other time she'd been to Chicago prior, as far as I know, was when she was touring with Royksop and was at Mamby at the Beach.
Because that's right. I was so mad because I missed it.
And I feel like I feel like we talked about buying. We didn't end up going, but we talked about buying tickets like specifically for that reason. Like we know she's not performing iamami, but also like I love Royksop.
Yeah.
So, right. Both together.
Yeah. I'm still sad we missed that. But still, it was an amazing
We still saw
experience.
Ionna, exactly. But not once, but twice, too, because she did another tour for Remember the Future, and it was at the same venue, and she didn't need a Kickstarter the second time around. She just was like, I can book it.
Got this now.
Watch me go.
Yeah.
And which was fantastic. And the thing is that the second time we got to actually several hours before the show go backstage and meet her, which was
so
crazy. And I remember we kind of dressed up a little bit there, and Taran was my quote unquote photographer. One of the photos made the piece. But we got
not a good photo of her either.
Yeah.
I read the interview again this week, and I was like, oh, I'm sorry.
But the thing is, we go in and it's her and John Strand, the director of all the visuals the entire time. He's just there filming. And even the PR is just like, you might be in a documentary, FYI, which has yet to materialize. I'm just saying, if it ever does, we'll happily be there.
Yes.
But she was just so kind and just so pleasant to speak to, and even when the PR person's like, hey, do you want? And she's like, no, give it a couple more minutes. We're still talking.
Yeah, right.
Nice.
She wanted to go longer, and she was excited to meet you too, which was the part that I remember almost most vividly is just how much she was like, Evan, yes, it's so good to see you,
she's so
because
genuine.
you guys have talked. So, a handful of times, and you've been such a champion of her work for so long. That, that was just a really cool moment for me.
Yeah, and even when it was just well, can we get a photo? She's like, yeah, but let's move these tables in the break room.
Yeah. Because there was this gorgeous mural on the wall, but it was the snack table was in front of it, so we moved the snack table so we could pose in front of this mural.
So great.
Yeah, it was awesome.
She got photos with us, and it was just very, very sweet, and it was just. I know.
Wonderful.
It was 5 hours before showtime, and it was just
It
was just so enlightening and so inspiring. And ironically, her opening act that time was the sassy dance pop artist Ali X, who we then saw later open for Charlie XCX that year. So we've seen Ionna twice, and now we've seen Ali X twice for some reason.
No big deal.
Hey, I like her.
Yeah.
It was a bonus. Both times it was oh, LEX, that's cool.
There you are.
Yeah.
But the other thing, I went down. There's this one online fan, iambountyfan, who just
I'm familiar with.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I am familiar with that.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. You are iambountyfan.
It's me. No.
But they have a iamami Wikipedia. They have all sorts of stuff they have set up, and they also have a YouTube channel, which is where I found that one girl doing the whacking to work, which was incredible. But also an unboxing series because as a way of funding their things, Ionna's record label, to whom it may concern, put out fucking mystery boxes, 80 mystery boxes, and they were $150 a piece, and they had distinct and unique items in them. And you could just buy them, and you just buy the number, and once the number's gone, they're not going to replace it. It's just every single one, and there's 3 remaining at this point. And so someone, and there are people unboxing it, and they open it up, and it's this loving thing, and it's just one of them is here's the suit that one of the dancers wore from the concert in Blue, and here's a plaster foot from the Everyone Afraid to Be Forgotten statue, and here's all of her CDs of this war, and this is ionnalee and her singles and things, just random bits of stuff that are still tied in together. And so there's 20 of these videos of just real hardcore iamamiwhoami fans just opening these things and just showing you what the crazy contents are, which is just really, really fun, which I love. But we need to talk about in concert.
Yeah.
Because holy shit, I remember being a fan of hers to the point where it's just oh, she's doing a live concert on YouTube.
Yes.
Tune in. And so I remember looking at it, and it's just preparing, and there's just like two figures standing there, and it was just like, that was like for 40 minutes or whatever. I don't remember, I think I stayed up enough to watch it, but I watched it afterwards, and clearly I didn't watch it all the way through, because this is right after, I believe, Play came out, or no, right after Kin came out.
I think it was before Kin, because she only played songs from Bounty, and then there were snippets and musical interpolations of like Gone and like Shadow Show, but
which she was still kind of debuting, yeah.
But I don't think Kin was out yet.
It was early. It was like 2010-ish sometime.
Yeah.
And it was just basically, eventually she gets in a car that's filled with instruments at night, which you later find out is Dawn, and they just drive out to a field somewhere. She plays B on a harpsichord in the back seat. And then she does some synth thing out of the trunk, and there's Klaus Bjorklund just there in the car. And then she finds some boy and leads him into the woods, and everything's all like, there's like, they have a path laid out, and there's all these technical crew and workers, like they've designed sets basically, and it just goes on a fucking journey. There's the puppet is back. She's on a giant tree dress thing.
The tree dress was so.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that was a moment where I was like, wow, they really put a lot into this.
Yeah, like that had to take, I don't know how much time to set up, and they probably, didn't have days to do it, because who knows who would have wandered through the woods in the meantime,
Right.
I assume they had to put that up in a fairly brief amount of time.
Probably
I don't know.
just the day before,
yeah,
honestly.
I think so, and then be like, all right, we're rolling tonight, everybody. So
then they had the tents with the lights in them that pulsed,
Yes.
That was such like a simple but really cool effect. I was like, I mean, they literally just bought tents, but like it's so effective.
Absolutely.
Like,
well, it's the whole DIY kind of feel. That's why what I love so much about this particular artist is that you can watch her grow. You can see her as a human, rather than this putting somebody up on a pedestal, kind of like the big pop stars kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my god, okay, she's just a human trying to do these creative things, these ideas that she has floating around in her head. She wants to put it out, and like this you're watching it happen. You're watching it being built, and she's becoming like, I just love that so much.
that was something that I didn't mention in the main cast, and it was sort of like, an idea I had, but part of why I think the first couple of albums are so effective is because she's not afraid to be like vulnerable, and like there's extended sequences where she has absolutely no makeup on, and it's just like, it's so like visceral and very human, and it goes to that like earthy, like animalistic almost tone, because it's not this. Like, yes, there's a lot of, like, there's clearly some production value, and
right. I mean, the videos the film is beautiful.
Right,
it's
and there's
well made.
Right.
Yeah, completely. And there's like clearly a lot of art was created for it.
Yeah.
But it's still like dirty, and like I love during I think it's In Due Order, where she's just like out in the field singing, and like as she pulls on her coat, like tufts of dust are coming off, and it's just like so effective. And I love that she like is, especially in contrast to like the sort of packaged like acoustic guitar rock songstress, that now it's just like, here's just a human making like,
it's all coming out, like she's got to get all these ideas out of her brain somehow, and this is how it's manifesting, and it's just so beautiful because it is so human and relatable for those reasons.
It's just, I'm still fascinated with what she's able to do. It's just interesting too that her most streamed song on Spotify is Play, which I thought was like, I'm happy.
But like a lot.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised, honestly. I just feel like that is the one that it probably one of the maybe easier ones for people to kind of go into and get hooked a little bit more. It's
well, and I also think that it's so utterly distinct. Like, because even some of like, we're talking about how she's going in a weird direction, but there is also precedent for that, especially in Swedish pop. You talk about like the Knife / Fever Ray, and like there is a history of that. But then, like, for me, part of the reason Play is so iconic and one of her most played songs is because it really doesn't sound like anything else. Those melty synths are like so utterly again, visceral and just one of a kind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, she is a crazy wackadoo.
love it.
I know she's just living her best authentic self. Let's briefly talk about, of course, that she also did Concert in Blue, which wasn't as stage setup-y as the in-concert one, but still very fun.
But it still very clearly had a specific plan from start to finish.
Yeah.
You know, and like
They asked for, she asked for participation from all of her listeners so that they could actively kind of become part of that concert in a different way.
And Jill Meyer is a part of that.
Yes, I am.
Yeah. So what would you? Now you were. Where were you at the time?
I was in Argentina. Argentina, I believe, or Brazil, one of the two. I don't know. I was in South America, and of course, these were tunes that I carried with me all over South America while I was traveling. And then I saw that she was putting on this concert, and that she was asking for either videos or pictures or something. So I was in a hostel, and there was no one else in my hostel room at that point in time, and so I just set up my camera, took a photo, and thought, you know what, I'll just send it in and we'll see what happens. Maybe it doesn't get up there, but whatever. And then I was watching it later on, and I was like, oh my god, there I am!
There you are, on the actual thing. That's so crazy.
It was great. It was fun to just feel a part of that whole experience.
Now, have you met other people that are iamamiwhoami fans?
Yeah, well, yes, but only with the exception of you two. You're the only two I've met outside of a concert of hers. And
sure.
Beyond that, I haven't met anybody else that I can think of.
She's still a cult artist, though.
Yeah.
It's just that cult is just
definition
especially strong.
Of
Yeah.
a
Yes.
cult artist,
Oh,
honestly.
very much. Yeah.
I know. And I think I just saw that her last tour date is sometime in November of 2019, so I think she'll probably take a nice long rest after that, too.
Well
but
deserved. She's been going for years, 10 years, almost
basically,
over a decade.
almost
maybe.
constantly.
Yeah.
And that was the thing that worried me, is that between Blue and Everyone Afraid to Be Forgotten, she put out a lot of singles starting in early 2017, but she just there was that break where you weren't sure what was
if it
going
was
to happen.
done or not. Yeah, exactly. That's there were songs almost alluding to maybe her departure in Blue, I thought, and that's The Last Dancer. That's kind of what I took from that. And Shadow Show, one of my favorite songs from that album, actually. I do love Blue, I don't hate it.
Yeah.
I promise you. And it just felt like she was inviting people in, but also saying, hey, maybe you need to go out and do your own creative things. Maybe this is kind of where this whole project ends. I don't know. But that's what I love about her too. And in that same DIY spirit is that there isn't some big marketing team behind it going, oh, we're gonna have 5 albums in this amount of time, and you're putting that out, and this is the direction you're going in. We've got some contracts written out for you. It's none of that, and it feels so good for that reason. You can just see her grow that way, and it doesn't feel forced. I don't know. Maybe that's not her experience, but it doesn't feel that it's commercial,
And she also had a Barbell. She also has some of her collaborators are signed to Whom It May Concern.
Well, you know who Barbell is, right?
Who?
That's Klaus Bierkeland.
Oh, that's his other.
Yeah, that's his producer name.
And Tungorna, is that?
Tungorna?
She worked with him on something, right? Or he remixed some of her things?
Sounds about right. Yeah.
I know I've seen the name.
Yeah.
I don't remember why.
And he put out his own album, and she was kind of supporting that album as well, and listened to it a little bit. It's really interesting as well. Another one you kind of have to chew on a bit and let sink in.
I just want to see her collaborate with Charlie XCX, or be brought on to do the hook of a Lizzo song or something. I don't know.
I don't know. Is she the right fit for Lizzo?
In the right context, it'd have to be the right kind of song. But it's one of the things where I feel like with Everyone Afraid and Remember, she is starting to kind of get out into the collaborative world a little bit more, just reaching out to other people, and she's keeping it very tight. Soul of Jesus was probably the big outside one that she pulled in, but it's just I don't know, I just like the idea of her just kind of working with other people and just exploring.
I think she's discovering new parts of her own work by these collaborations. I mean, she worked with Comme des Garçons, I think. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly.
She's been collaborating with them for a while, I think. They've made a lot of her
7 years
outfits.
Or something. Yeah.
There was one interview I was reading, and she talked about, I think some of her favorite songs that she wrote included Samaritan, included Tea, included, I believe, Good Worker, too,
Yeah.
which was, I was just like, it was just that she had a very fascinating list of, like, her own personal favorites.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
T is really interesting because obviously on YouTube, Y is by far the most viewed of any of her songs.
35 million, or 38 million.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting, because
Well,
it is so...
I mean, a guy
sexual.
does
Get
come
it,
on his
yeah.
own face. Like,
Yeah.
it's like...
Well, they threw a
there's
knife
lot-
into the vagina tree.
The knight threw a knife into the vagina tree, which caused a cum splatter on the gilded bearded man's face.
Yes.
Who lived inside the tree.
So I mean, like, not only is it a great song, but also there's a lot to unpack there in the visuals.
Yeah.
so much.
But actually on Spotify, T is the most streamed song off of Bounty, which I find fascinating because it's far from my favorite on there. Like, I would even put U2 above T, personally.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. U2 stands out to me more than T movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, you know, there's no accounting for taste.
I will say, though, Taran, there is one thing Taran didn't want to talk about, which was the choreography to Samaritan.
Oh, you're making me talk about this?
You're the one, well, if
Well, okay, so, like, I do think that,
Ionna, we love you.
especially in, like, the Remember the Future era, like, in both, Somebody and... Is there choreography in Open Sea? I remember specifically the choreography in Somebody. I was like, okay, you're low-key killing it. Like, awesome. You know, she's always had her own very distinct movement quality. In the video for Samaritan, though, her and two backup dancers have, like, a jack off the dick move.
Yeah.
Like,
yes,
literally, like, it's like pump, pump, come is the dance move. And I was just like, she's usually so good at editing herself. And I just felt like that was a moment of like, oh, that's so like I love that song. And to me, that like cheapened the message a little bit almost. Like, and I think that was part of why to be frank, sort of when this era started, just kind of like wrote it off a little bit because I really didn't like the video for Samaritan. And I still don't.
It looked cheap in a way that the other ones did not.
Even though Samaritan is like one of my favorite songs from her now, it was off in some way. I don't know if it was like the wigs everyone was wearing or what. But then like some of the other videos from this era, like I think the video for Joy is awesome.
Yes, I love like a lot of the quiet and slow cabin moments.
Yeah.
Those
Yeah,
are
from the
really
film.
beautiful
Yeah.
film. Yeah.
Yeah. Or like I think the video for Not Human too is like really solid. For Gone, like I do really like this era. I just feel like there were a couple missteps in Samaritan.
I would agree with some of the like group dances. I was like, I don't know if it felt a little more R&B or hip hop influenced or something. It just in a way that it didn't quite fit.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We just hadn't seen it before. Maybe it's just a thing she was playing with, and I don't know.
I think that when it comes to seeing her live, the sense of blazing during the last part, that is fantastic.
Well, I just remember seeing her. I don't think she played it the first time we saw her, but the second time she definitely played Blazing, and I just remember that. And I was like, oh shit!
You knew it was coming. Yeah.
Oh man!
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Listen, guys, we can do mouth sounds of Ionna synths all night. We can do a whole album of
Literally,
it, make no mistake.
Like, pick one of the big songs. I bet we could all like fill it in together.
It's like legitimately a Muppet version of all of Ken. I would so.
A Muppet
Everyone's
version of
pausing.
Ken would just be Ken. It's literally Muppets already. It's basically like if you took acid and watched the Muppet Show.
Okay, yeah, that's
you know, and then
acid
like
all the way.
she has, you know, she's kidnapped by some monsters. She falls through their body.
True, yeah.
And
oh
then
my God.
they
Takes
take
the
her
hairy
out.
elevator down.
They take her out into the woods and turn her into a Yeti Madam.
Yeah,
And
Yeti Madam.
Yeah. Please welcome to the stage, Yeti Madam.
I want that costume so badly. That's all I want to do
Oh
is
my
just
God.
walk around in like
I
mop creature.
Bet you could
That's
make
all
that
I
happen
wanna
for
do.
yourself.
Next Halloween we're doing it.
Yes.
Next Halloween. I mean, because underneath she's literally just wearing a white
Like,
bra and
nothing.
panties.
Yeah.
So like,
I'm so into that. Let's do this.
Well, listen, great conversation. All I can say is, Ionna, we absolutely love you. I
Oh my
hope that's
God,
clear
yes.
from all of those
Yes,
conversations.
yes.
We cannot wait to see what you do next. We will always remember
Yeah.
that future. And in the meantime, Jill Meyer, thank you so much for being here.
So
really.
much fun with you guys. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Yeah. You can follow her on Instagram at That Wandering Woman. Any old time that you want.
That's me walking.
Yeah.
oh, I assumed
wandering.
it was like a notification sound.
Oh, yes, also that.
Yeah.
Message me, PM me.
Slide into the
If you want to talk about Ionna,
Yeah, exactly.
She is Bounty Fan.
or you can email us
Yeah.
at thechartographers@gmail.com.
And also follow us on SoundCloud and Spotify and subscribe to us. If you rank us on iTunes or give us a thumbs up or something, that'd be great. Even if it's a lie, we'd still take it. We're desperate and bitter
Even
and
if
clean
you
guns
hated
for you.
it,
Exactly.
we're fine.
Whatever it seems to do. But in the meantime, though, seriously, to everyone, thank you so much for listening. We're so happy to be back. And I guess that now that you listen to the first episode of season 4, we'll see you at the next one. Have a good one, guys. Goodbye.
Welcome to the Reviewniverse promo! The Reviewniverse with Chris and Steve is a podcast about two men who are hired to review everything in the universe.
We're stuck in a tiny room together filled with pneumatic tubes while two shadowy figures dictate what we have to review next.
Anything from pizza
To pop stars.
to the entire state of Wisconsin.
A new episode every Thursday wherever you get your podcasts.
We give this promo a 100 out of 100.